Hello, welcome. We're getting ready to start the actual gameplay. So for those of you who are watching this series for the first time, it's going to seem seamless to you, but actually I had recorded 8 videos and I played through an entire series of all 3, the Mariners, the Planeteers, and the Starfarers, and reached an end and a conclusion and a final score and the whole 9 yards. I found a serious mistake that I made. And I had made a couple errata videos because I always make mistakes. But this one was so big that I decided to delete my videos and start over. So for those of you watching this for the first time, this is actually my second time playing through. And I know you heard my big speech in video 1 and 2 about how I had never played this before. That's not the case now. I'm actually quite seasoned in this now. I've actually played 2 full games. One solo with the mistake that I was explaining, and then one multiplayer with other folks. So I've actually experienced both flavors of the game. And so I'm going to show you the game the way I understand it now, which I'm quite confident I'm at 98, 99% level. That doesn't mean I'm not going to make mistakes because I'm just recording a video and thinking of 30 things at once. But in terms of rules, I think we're going to have it hammered down. So I hope you enjoy this. And if you're somebody who was watching the series and is saying, hey, where did all those videos go? This is the explanation. And so welcome back for those of you who've already been here. And for those of you here for the first time, trust me, this will be a much better experience for you because I don't want to lead you astray. So a couple of things that I think was left off on the video 2 that I know is wrong. The first one is make sure you only have 2 tokens there. Your token and just 1 token for the competitor. I chose green because those are the same ones I have in the box. When you're playing Mariners, there's supposed to be certain ones you take out. I didn't bother doing it. I just put them all in there. And if we pull out the wrong one, I'll just draw another one. It's just quicker that way. The other thing is we were like looking at these and wondering what the heck. So if you'll notice that the board that we're playing on has all 3 symbols, the moon, the planet, and the star. See how it has all 3? You pick this board when that's your intention. We're going to play all 3 eras. So this is the board you start with. If you're only going to play 2 of the 3 eras, you would start with this board. See how it has 2 eras? And if you'll notice, the built-in infrastructure is just different. And then if you're only going to play the 3rd era, you would just start with that board. So they have 3 starting boards for you, and it's across. So basically the board we're using is this one and the other side's blank. And then the other boards, you just put them out of the game. So if you ever want to play a shorter game and only play certain eras, that's how you would do it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. The AI always goes first. And I believe I explained in the rules what everything is. I'll try to explain everything. I did not rewatch video 2, and I did just delete a bunch of stuff. So I explained all kinds of things, and now I got to remember which ones I had in video 2 versus later. But let's go ahead and get started. I'll show you the gameplay. And the one thing I'm realizing I forgot to do is we've got to make sure the offer is filled up. So I probably did that in video 2, but I'm setting up a new game here as I explained. So let me do that. Okay. So that's done, and let's get rocking. All right, so you just draw the top card, and you ignore everything except for this text right here. That's the only thing you need is what's between my thumbs. You don't need anything above anything up there. That's all you need is just that little gray box. Okay, so this is an offers command. There's 3 different things you could see in this game. Offers is one of them. This one is the most evil of them. We've come to grow and hate this one. It is the most evil of the 3, but let's go through that. So what you do is you get your sheet here, and I'm going to just push the board back a little bit so we have room to put this down. And in your sheet, there's a sight action, which that's not what this is. There's an offers action, and that's what we're doing. And then the third one is a discovery and contract action. So we're doing the offers section. So this is your AI sheet that's used only for solo play. So what you would do is you would use this section to do your turn. And so we could read this, and you know, you're more than welcome to, but I'll explain to you what it is. It's quite simple. It's saying that card 1 and 3 is being removed, and then that moon symbol is the bonus. And you'll see that right here, the competition gains 1 trillion for each card discarded the way that has an action type matching the type shown. So this little gray box will have an action type here. Sometimes it'll be a rocket, which is the move symbol, right? It could be that symbol. But what this symbol is it's a moon, which stands for the phase. And so when you see the moon, what that's telling you to do is look on the corner of your board, and right here, all 3 of these are in effect. So if we get rid of a move upgrade, it's +1, an explore upgrade, +1, or a build upgrade, it's a +1. So if it's any upgrade card, he's going to get $1 trillion. Any of those upgrade cards. So you discard the card after you're done, of course. And so first thing we do is we go and remove cards 1 and 3. So card 1 and card 3. So these are the 2 cards that we're removing, and neither of them are upgrade cards. And how do we know this? Well, they would tell you that they're upgrade cards. And in fact, I got an upgrade card in my hand. So see, it says may upgrade as infra. That's an upgrade card. These are not. So he doesn't get any bonus money for killing these cards. So that part's good. And then we have to replenish them. And what we're praying for is we don't want him to get an edge card. If he finds an edge card, he gets to apply whatever the effect of the edge card is. So the first card is not an edge. And if you're wondering what an edge card is, we're definitely going to encounter one. So just be patient. It's going to have a red label and, you know, all kinds of text on it. You can't miss an edge card. Okay, so with that being done, it is now our turn. And I'm just realizing I forgot to do setup here. So we should have 2 cubes here on our base. So let's look at the situation. We need to get, so for those of you that are watching, name that movie, Get Your Ass to Mars. My voice, by the way, is very bad, but what movie is that? Where he says, get your ass to Mars. So far, no one's gotten it, and it should be the easiest thing ever. Okay, so I just remembered I had to put the first beyond. Okay, that first beyond token is worth getting. So let me just make that clear from the start. Our objective, in my opinion, is we want to get our tableau built up. We want to get this strong. And we also want to fulfill contracts. In fact, the contracts are the most important part of the game. And I'm not sure, it's really difficult to score outside of that. There is a way with produce actions. So if you build a bunch of refineries and can pull off, you know, a lot of production, that's possible, but it would require some serious dedication. I think you need to do a mix. But okay, so the first produce action is going to score 4 Lagrange bases. So these are Lagrange bases in the middle and then on this ring here. So those are Lagrange, and they're very easy to see because they have the word Lagrange in them. So anything outside of this is not Lagrange. So when you start getting into Mars or Sisyphus or Halley's Comet over there, no Lagrange. First base on Mars, get your genetic cube, advance 2 spaces, have your cards in 3 infra slots, and bases in 5 regions. Now, let me make sure this is understood. This is actually one of my mistakes I made. It was a minor one, but these don't count as cards. So you need to replace this and then have cards on both of these as well. And by the way, one of our actions is we could upgrade and put this card on there. I'm not going to, but that's something we could do. So we start with just this chemical drive, and I'm pretty sure that's the only card we start with. Yeah, so that's pretty poor. So we have to figure out how to move. Now, one of the things is if we see how you have Earth's gravity here, it takes 1 to lift off, and then the gravity is 2 more, so that would be 3. And then you're within this range, and if I want to land somewhere, I can just land. Now, if wherever I'm landing also has gravity, I have to add gravity on both the front end and the rear. So that's something to keep in mind. And the other thing I can do is a research action, which would allow me to draw 2 cards. And I think I have to do that because I only have 1 card, and that doesn't do me any good. And let me just make sure that really is what I started out with. Yeah, it is. Okay, so we can't move, we can't do anything with just this card. So we would have 2 move points, and that's not even enough gravity to overcome Earth's gravity. So what we're gonna do is let's do a research. And the research, we don't have any research cards in our hand, but we do have a research of 2, so it means we get to draw 2 cards. Now the thing with this is that we have to choose, are we going to draw one of these cards from the offer, or are we going to draw from the deck? Now, the top 12 cards, minus this one, so this actually makes it 11, right? So the top 11 cards, 4 of which are here, are starter cards. So the real good, juicy cards are further down. So we sort of do want to get these starter cards out of the way, and we actually did. We got 2 of them out of the way, in fact. So that's 2, and that's 4, that's 6, and the card in our hand is 7. So there's only 5 more left. I'm not going to belabor this too much. Yeah, we're going to research. The real question is, do we want one of those cards? And I'm going to say no. So I'm going to just take 2 cards from the top of the deck. And you can draw them one at a time and make your decision, but that's what we have now. And so now it's their turn. Okay, so it's lunar LP4. So all we have to do is we have to look on here for lunar LP4. And lunar is, of course, this inner circle, and LP just stands for Lagrange point. So this particular game uses abbreviations, and if they do, it's always the first letter of each word. So lunar LP4 is this spot here. So then we go to this site action, and there's no competition team present, so we do this row here. And it says, if it's a Lagrange site, we place a competition team. So all you do is you grab any of them. The color does not matter. So you just grab any of them, and you put it on the site. So they're getting ready to build a base there. That's what's happening with the competition. Now it's back to us. Okay, now we're cooking with Pam here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 movement. So we can spend 2 movement to, actually it's 1 to lift off, 2 for the gravity, so that's 3 movement. And then the 4th movement is we can land somewhere. So I'm gonna land on Luna. There's a reason. That exploration tile here, this is an exploration tile, can be juicy for us. These ones, all you can do is build a base, and that's it. And the 2 bases that you can build are a research station, which is pretty mediocre at this stage of the game, but it can be useful, and in a spaceport, which is definitely useful. But at this point, I just want to go to the moon and actually build a base right on the moon. And it is not this would not count as a Lagrange base, though. So this is a non-Lagrange base, even though it's inside the inner circle. These are the Lagrange bases. So so when you're looking at your objective, this counts as a non-Lagrange base. And so that is part of what I'm trying to do. Okay, so we did that move. That actually cost all 4 movement points. So we have to discard all 3 of these cards. So that was unfortunate. And we have less than 4 cards in our hand. So we're going to draw a card. And I just realized we should have drew a card after the end of our first turn. So I'm going to draw another card because we only had 4 cards after the last turn. Okay, so moving on. It's their turn, and we're going to get to see all 3 of their actions. Bing, bing, bing. So they get 1 discovery and contract 6. Well, the contract 6 is real easy to do. You just grab one of their cubes, and you go to the 6th contract and put it on the cube. If contract 6 ever comes up again a second time, he actually completes the contract and it moves over. Now, the discovery, 1 discovery, means, and we can see here, if there are 1 or more explorable sites that are occupied by a competition team, draw and place a discovery tile. And there isn't one. So it says if neither of steps 1 and 2 can be carried out, we have to discard the card and draw another one. But we were able to do the contract 6. We just can't. And here's what I'm talking about. Basically, what it's saying to do is it wants to fill in this square here, but there is no square on the spot that they're at. So far, they're only either at Earth or they're there and nowhere else. So I hope that makes sense. But there's nowhere on the entire board that they're located at that has an explore point, and that's what that action was. Is they wanted to explore. Okay, so it's back to us. And I apologize, I already forgot to draw a card at the end of my first turn, but I really have 2 cards in my hand. It's a move and an explore. The explore card is perfect because that's exactly what we want to do. We want to explore this region right here. So that E1, the 1 means we only need 1 explore point. So that's what this is. So I'm going to spend this 1 explore point, and then we draw an E1 tile from here. So I'm just going to draw the 1 on top. And we found abundant ores, which is really good for production. It's really crappy for everything else. But it has some nice bonuses to it. So first of all, it's P0, means it produces 0 money for you. So if you do a produce action on this, you get absolutely nothing in profit. So if you build a refinery or something on it, then it'll produce something, just 1. But the base -2, though, is really good because normally the cost for the base, and it is all about the base, no trouble, is 2. So right now it's saying that you get to subtract 2 from the cost. So the cost to build a base here is now free. It's absolutely 0. So next turn, we're going to be able to build a base there. And that's pretty nice. Okay, so it's their turn. And the other thing is the bottom left corner, if there was anything written on the bottom left corner, we would have gotten that immediately. But you notice there's nothing there. The bottom right corner is ongoing bonuses. So it was one of the less exciting ones, but nonetheless, we got it. Solar LP, I think that's 5. Yes, Solar LP 5. So what that's saying is we're going to grab another cube. And you can see it right here, Solar Lagrange point 5. So that's where it goes. And I don't know why my camera keeps going out of focus, but my apologies there. All right, so I forgot to draw a card at the end of my last turn again. I'm so excited about moving on with the turns here. So this is what I got, and this is what I have in my hand. I have 2 cards in my hand right now. I want to build a base, and I don't need any build points because it's a base of a cost 0. So I get to build for free. Now, when you're on a site like that, you look on your sheet here, and you can see the prerequisites for all of the bases. So, for example, I can't build an attraction there at all. Can't build a biolab. But here I have a P number. Even though the P number is 0, I could put an exploiters are not available because there's no moon here. See how it has the Planeteer and the Starfarers, but in our phase, these are not available to us. This one, a refinery we can do. And what that'll do is that'll make the moon produce, if we ever do a produce action there, we'll make 1 profit. 1 trillion in profit. We can always put a research station anywhere because there's no prerequisite. And when that happens, we get to just take a card from the offer, which is one of those 4 cards there. We can always build a security station, but that's only in future phases. And then the spaceport has to be a Lagrange point, so I can't build it on the moon. And the spaceport would give me a move bonus of 2, which is sort of nice. So, so with these options, I really only have 2 options. I can build a research center or a refinery. That's it. And it's really a no-brainer. We're building a refinery. So the moon will at least produce 1 trillion in profit if I ever do a produce action on there. And we got ourselves a base. Now you would think that we get all kinds of bells and whistles for it, but we don't. We have a base, but we need 4 bases before anything benefits us. And but the cool thing is we didn't have to spend any cards. And that part is very much appreciated. And we do get another card because we have less than 4. That's the thing. If you ever have 4 or less, you get to draw another card. So there it is. And that build can be useful later. Okay, so it's their turn. And they got offers 2, 4. And once again, they got that moon symbol. So they're looking for upgrade cards. So I'm going to go over here and take out 2 and 4. And you'll notice that card number 3 there does have upgrade as infra, but 2 and 4 did not. Actually, card 1 was an upgrade card too. So they're taking the exact cards that would not have benefited them. So here's the first one. And this is, we're finally getting into the better cards now. Notice how the values are much, much better. And here's the second one. Yeah, much, much better now. Okay, so it is our turn. That is sort of nice. No, that's not our card. That's their card. Never mind. I was like, wow, that looks like a nice card. Okay, we need to move again. And this time I want to get off the moon. Once you build a base, there's no reason to keep a cube there. The base can function without having a cube there. So I want to get off the moon and get to like a Lagrange point so we can build a star base. Or spaceport, I meant. So to get, let's say, to solar point 2, I need 1 to lift off. And there's no gravity, so I don't have to worry about that. And I'm in this range, right? Then I need 1 to move to this range. That's what that 1 in the diamond means, is it takes 1 more to go there, and then I need 1 to land. So I just need 3 movement points to get from the moon to there. Whereas this guy on Earth, he needs 3 just to take off, and then 4 to get over there, and then 5 to land. So you see the difference? It would cost him 5 points if he was going from Earth, and that's right here on the chart. So from Earth, it would cost him 5 to get to a solar Lagrange point. But from the moon, it only costs 3. So that's something, when you're playing your game, you need to get off Earth. Stay away from the gravity places. Get a spaceport built. Then go to the gravity places. And one action we have not taken advantage of yet is, you'll see here that we get to do a transport team. It only works if you're going from one site to a spaceport, or a spaceport to a site. So once we get a spaceport built, we can take that cube that's sitting on Earth and move it to the spaceport for free with no movement points at all. So we're not going to move that cube off of Earth. It's a waste of movement points. So let's get the one that's on the moon over there. Let's build a spaceport, and then for a free action, we get to take the one on Earth and put it on the spaceport, and now we got 2 cubes that we can work and play with. Okay. It's also very important to know that we can't move unless there's a base, at least at one of the 2 locations. So if I did not build this refinery, the only place I could have moved to was back to Earth, and that's it. And that's a complete waste of a move. So that refinery was necessary. I had to build it. And now that I have a refinery here, I can move to a place that does not have a base because as long as one of the two locations has a base, that's all that matters. And that's very important for your move action. Okay? I don't know if I explained that well in the video too, but like I said, I've already done a full playthrough and played a multiplayer game, so you're getting a much crisper explanation, and I hope this helps. Okay, so we need 3 movement points, and you can see here I have 1, and then you can see here I could get to 3. You know what? I'll do that. I'll spend these, and we're going to discard both of those, and we will move to Solar Lagrange point 2. Bing. Okay, and then we have less than 4 cards in our, or we have 4 or less, so we build, or we take a card. Okay, so now it's the AI turn. Solar LP2 / North Mars. Okay, so what it's telling us to do is it wants to go to the first location, and if that one's already has a base, then we go to the second location. And you can confirm all that here when it says, because it says here 2 sites listed, perform at the site with a competition team first. So it's asking you, do you have a competition team at one of these 2 places? And then if no teams, perform at the site without a base, and then use the first site listed if both lack bases. So both lack bases, because Solar LP2 is where I am, and of course neither of us are at Mars. So we're looking at a Lagrange point again, with no competition present, and it just says place a team. So he's going to grab another cube, and now he's racing us. He's trying to build a base there at the same place as us. So he's a sneaky little AI. Okay, so now it's our turn, and we need to build a spaceport. So the build cost is 2. And I know maybe you can't see that with the camera here, but you can see there it says B2. So the build cost is 2. I don't get any discount, but lo and behold, look, I got a card here. It says build 2. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to play that card, and then we're going to grab a spaceport, and easy peasy, we just got ourselves a spaceport. Now, if you look at the order of a turn, it's written on your HQ board. So we skipped 0 because that's only used in the 3rd phase. We conducted our action. That's what we've been doing. Claiming contracts is something we could do, but we've never satisfied a contract yet. Opponents claim rewards. You skip that in solitaire. You never ever do this in solitaire. This whole step is gone. In multiplayer, it's just, I can explain it if anybody's interested, but in multiplayer, this does happen. And then you perform a free transport. So that's what we're going to do right now for the first time. We're going to do step 4. And then you would discard and replace offers. Actually, we've been doing that. And then you draw a card of 4 or less in hand. So if you ever forget, it's just written right here. Okay, so we're doing our free transport. So the free transport rule is simple. You can freely transport any cube from one base to a starport or a starport to a base. You can't go somewhere that does not have a base. Bases have to be on both ends because a starport's considered a base. And one of the 2 bases has to be a starport. So look at it that way. And so we're going to take this one from Earth, and he's going to free transport here. So now we have both of our cubes there, and we didn't have to spend any movement points. And I don't know, maybe I'm more excited about it than you guys, but that's a very exciting thing, and it's an important strategy when you play this game. It will get you far. Okay, so we have we have 4 or less cards, and so we got ourselves, that's a pretty nice card, and it's now their turn. So Solar LP2 / North Mars. So same deal. And Solar LP2, we are there and we built a base. Oh, by the way, when you build a base on a location, you kick their cube out. So their cube is actually gone. Now, when you have these locations, it's asking you if these locations don't already have a base. Once somebody builds a base at a location, it's yours. Nobody can steal it from you. There's no shenanigans there. So the AI basically has to ignore this. It can't do anything. And the unfortunate part is North Mars is important for us, and he's basically able to skip this and go straight to Mars now. So he's going to Mars. So we go back to here, and it's competition not present, but it's not a Lagrange site. So we go over to here. It says place a competition team, and if none are available, draw and place a discovery tile. Well, we don't have to worry about that because he has plenty available. So his competition team is now on North Mars, and I don't know if I described it well enough, but Mars has actually a south and a north site, and the sites are denoted by these numbers. So you always know that this is two separate sites. So he's in North Mars right now, and that's unfortunate. Okay, so now it's our turn. We need to move. That part's important, but we keep burning move cards, and this build card is really nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a research action, because I'm looking over here and I see some nice cards. So like for example, I see that move 3 there, which is very nice. So I'm going to take that one for sure as one of my 2 cards. And I like that move 2, build 2 up there, but I'm curious to see what's here. So let's grab this one. And we needed that too, so I'll take it. So those are our 2 cards. And then this one comes out on the offer. That's the one I really wanted. We may do another research action next turn. Okay, so it's now his turn. Sisyphus. So real easy. I know you need to look at the chart, but basically if they don't have a competition team there, they're putting one there. That's almost always the situation. So we go to Sisyphus and put a cube. Now, the AI is not really getting far, but look at all these cubes they have out there. If we ever get a location that comes up a second time, he's going to start building bases, and all kinds of nasty stuff's going to start happening. So he's building up. There's going to be a crescendo here. And now it's our turn, and we have lots of things to do, and only can do one at a time. One is I want to put this in the upgrade slot. I'm going to put this in our infra so we get a move 3. But the other one is this card is so valuable. I'm taking this. This is my favorite card in the first era. So I'm taking this solid nuclear drive. We're doing another research action. So I have this. Hold on. Hold on. I made a mistake. Does anybody know what I did? Okay, I didn't make a mistake. That card is there, but the other mistake I made is I forgot to draw my cards because I have 4 or less in my hand. So I have this card in my hand too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can't do a research action if you have 7 or more cards, so we're still safe there. And now I have even more things I want to do because this card's awesome. So I'm still going to do the research action. I'm going to take this because, like I said, I really want this. And I'm going to draw from the top again. And we got another really good card. So very, very happy. And now this one's going on the offer. Another good card going on the offer. Okay, so it's their turn. We don't get to draw a card now because we have more than 4. Offers 2 and 3. This is what I was worried about, and that's why I wanted to do the research action, because if this was an offer action that would have removed our card, I would have been very upset. So 2 and 3 is being taken off, and once again the moon symbol came up. So we look at 2 and 3, and he is going to make money. Because right here, this is an upgrade card. So he did finally get rid of an upgrade card. So the first points of the game have been scored, and he is winning. So now 2 cards come out. All right, it's now our turn. And we have a ton of things to do. I think the first thing we should do is let's get the produce done before he does anything crazy. No. Well, Okay, so 3 things are going through my mind. One, of course, we can move, but we don't want to move until we get this one in our tableau. To get that in a tableau, we have to do an upgrade action. So I want to upgrade action for this. I want to do an upgrade action for this. That's 2 turns right there. If we do 3 upgrade actions, we actually complete a contract. So that's important for us. This one also completes a contract, because if we do a produce, we get to complete a contract that way. So we're on the verge of scoring points. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do this one in the upgrade. So I'm going to come over here, and an upgrade action is simple. You just put the card on and you're done. I mean, there's nothing earth-shattering about that. And now it's their turn. So by the way, this is what an edge card looks like, if you ever were curious. So Deimos just came up, and Deimos is one of the moons of Mars. And you can see there's nothing there, so we're going to take another cube. He's going to be building soon. Can't hold him back forever. All right, so now it's to us, and I'm going to upgrade again. And so it looks like this. We don't complete the contract yet because I still need a card there. All right, his turn. Offers 2-3, and then once again the moon symbol. So we go to 2-3, and he's getting another trillion. Why? Because right there, there's an upgrade card. So we move him up 1, and then we draw the 2 cards. So, oh, and there's an edge card. Okay, so this is what he wanted. This is bad news for us. He drew an edge card, and in a solitaire game, you ignore the text. Do not read the text for the edge. What you need to look for is this word here, salvage, at the top. And then we come to our solo sheet. And you flip it over to the other side, and you can see here in the red section, these are the edge effects table. And that's for us too. If we drew this card, we ignore that text as well. Now, if it's our card, we read this column, but this time it's his card, so we're reading that side. So we have to go to salvage, which is the very last one. And it says, the competition gains 1 trillion, then discards all start cards from the offers. Replenish empty offers. Okay, so this card, no matter what, gets discarded. And he gets 1 trillion. Then it's saying all start cards get discarded. And believe it or not, we actually have a start card in the offer. It's this one. 2 ways you can tell. See the little dark shade behind the moon? And then it says the word start on the bottom right corner. So now we draw 2 more cards. And there we go. So this one is really nice. Okay, so lots of actions still we need to do. We're running out of time. I have so many things I want to do, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. I'm going to do a research action, and the reason is because I see 2 wonderful cards out here. I see this one and this one. So we're going to take these 2 cards, and that does mean we're speeding up the game. Every time when this deck runs out, the era is gonna end. So when you take a lot of cards, you're speeding that up. But anyways, it's his turn. Offers 1, 3, and 4, and then look here, it's not the moon. Instead, it's this little blue action, and that's the explore action. Okay. So we go look here, and you see 2, 3, and 4, and right there's the explore action. So he's going to get a credit for that. And he just got rid of 3 cards. So guess what he's doing to us? He's speeding up the game too. He's winning. He doesn't want us to score any points. We're sort of pathetic right now. We've yet to do 1 contract. Oh, we need that card too. All right. Oh, no. No, no, no. Okay, he got a hack. So let's see what that is. Discard all research cards from your hand and offer boxes. Oh. See, I wasn't even going to use it for the research. We wanted it for the genetics. That's what we wanted. All right. So 2 more cards get discarded. We draw 2 more. And we're done. Okay, so now it's our turn. And we're going to do another upgrade action and put this one on. So we now have 3 cards in the upgrade box. And we finally completed our first contract. Now this was his, remember, he was almost completing that contract. If we would have drawn another card that said contract 6, he would have completed that. So we actually beat him to it. We get 2 trillion. So 1, 2, we're finally on the board and off the schneid. And we're really poised now to do some awesome move actions. So it takes a lot of setup. And even if we don't get a lot of points in this first era, I personally feel that getting the tableau strong is a good thing. Now, there was one other objective I was going to tell you you absolutely need to do, and that was this. You needed to find these 2 cards and do 2 genetic actions. See those 2 genetic actions? Because that lets you complete this genetic quest, and genetics are like the best thing in the game. If you get this thing all the way around, you get to take an adaptation, and they're phenomenal. They're like the best things in the game. So we're already screwed in a way, because I don't think there's any more genetic cards in the whole deck. I think there's only 2, and you got to get them both. It is possible we can build a biology lab, but you need to find microbes to do that, and that's really hard as well. But anyways, I'm digressing. There is a third thing you should try to do, and that is you need to get to that first beyond up in the asteroid belt. That is worth doing. Do not underestimate the power of that. It's just that one of your cubes is no longer allowed to be used in the rest of the game. So, or in the rest of the era. I don't want to say game. Okay, it's his turn. As long as we aren't drawing offers, because every time he gets an offer, he's speeding up the end of the game. The other stuff isn't so bad. Offers 3, 4, and then it's the moon. So if you look at 3, that's an upgrade, and 4 is an upgrade. So he's getting 2 more trillion. And he's wasting 2 more cards. And he got another edge. Jiminy Christmas. Intercept. So what does intercept do for him? The competition takes another turn. Oh, come on. Lunar LP5 or Lunar LP4. Okay, so Lunar LP4 has somebody there. So let's take a look real quick so you can see what I'm seeing. Lunar LP5 is the first one listed, but he has somebody at 4. And if you're unsure, always just look at the chart here. When it says 2 sites listed, it says perform at the site with a competition team. So first one listed if both of them have teams. Well, in this case, only the second one does. So we're going to do Lunar LP4. Competition team is present. It is not a it's a Lagrange site. So it's saying remove the team and place a base. So that's simple. So we remove the team. And I'm going to move the camera up here. And now I'm going to go into my cup and we're going to draw a base randomly. All right, so the base I drew is a spaceport. Oh, this is awful. Okay, so we drew a spaceport. So now what you got to do is anytime you draw a base for them, you have to flip this over again and use this chart at the top. So you find spaceport, and then you see, did they meet this condition? The site is a Lagrange point. Yes, it is a Lagrange point. So now he gets this bonus over here. If the competition has at least one other base, it takes the first beyond marker. Okay, we just got lucky. He doesn't have any other bases. We got super duper duper lucky. Now, you might be thinking, oh, well, there's bases here. Those bases don't count for him and they don't count for us. So we don't get to count those things as bases. So don't fall for that trap. Okay, now it's finally our turn. We have 2 options. We can do a move or we can do a produce. And if we do a produce, we get another contract. So I'm leaning towards, we can always do this later. I'm not sure he's going to get to do a produce action, unless he builds a base, of course. I am getting nervous about that first beyond, so we can try to claim that. But in order to do that, you need 1 point to lift off, and then here you see 3 more, and then 2 more, and then land. So that's 3, 5, 6 to take off, 7. I would need 7 movement points. I actually have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to just do a move action and go to the first beyond. Now, I didn't have to spend any cards because all my movement was right here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's all I needed. And so now we got the first beyond and the AI can stick it. So another big objective complete. Solar LP2 or South Mars. So Solar LP2, we have a base there. So South Mars is where they're going. And remember, I told you, if they're not there, the chart is pretty simple. They're just putting a team there. So they have a team on both North and South Mars. So we need to do something about that. And so it's now our turn. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to do a move. And remember, we have 7 move points. So it's more than enough. We're going to spend 1 to take off, 3 to get here. So that's 4. And then 5 to land. But you have to also take into account gravity. So South Mars is a 6th one. So we're going to land in South Mars. So that took 6 movement points to get there. Okay, we have more than 4 cards, so we don't draw any. Now it's their turn. 1 discovery and contract 6. The 1 discovery is going to kill us. Contract 6, they don't get to do because neener. We did it. So no worries there. But the 1 discovery, what they're going to do is I think they're going to discover North Mars there, or it could be Sisyphus. So let's figure out how this works. If there are 1 or more explorable sites that are occupied by a competition team, and there are, the 2 explorable sites is Sisyphus and North Mars, and actually South Mars too. All 3 of them are explorable. Draw and place a discovery tile at the one with the highest ID number. Okay, and then put the competition tile on and award any bonuses. So, so here's what that means. You just look at the number. So this is the number 10, for example. And then we're going to go look at Mars. And South Mars is 12, North Mars is 13. So he's going to explore North Mars. It's an E2 tile. So I'm going to draw the E2 tile. And he gets 1 trillion profit. See how it's on the bottom left corner? And then he now has water. So we have to give him 1 trillion in profit. He does not build a base. That's not what the discovery action is. But he could build a base later. So it's now our turn. And we want to explore South Mars. So it's also an E2. So we need 2 exploration points. Well, that's easy. Right here, 1, 2. So we got that by a mile. So I'm going to draw this. And we found exotic elements. So a couple of things here. We get 2 trillion in profit. P1 means it's going to produce for us. Anytime we do a produce, you're going to make 1 trillion, even without a base there. I actually think you need a base, but you need a base there, but it produces 1 trillion, even if the base doesn't give you anything else. And then the base plus 1 is actually negative, because that means it's going to cost 1 extra build point to build a base there. Okay, so what we did is we discovered this, and so we get the credit for it, and they don't. If they build a base here, they have to pay us 2 trillion because we're the ones that discovered it. And don't get confused by the 2 trillion written there. That's 2 separate things. The 2 trillion is just a hard-coded thing in the rule book. It just so happens to be coincidence that it matches that 2 trillion that's on the corner. Okay, now the build cost is 6. I don't know how easy it is for you to see there, but in Mars, it says B6. So it costs 6 build points to build a base there. So we do need a lot of build points, and I don't have it at the moment. So that is one problem for us. And I would like to build a base there, not because it gets us points, but it will help us later. Because we do want to have a nice base that produces money, and we want to put a refinery on it, which allows it to produce even more money. So that has a P1. The refinery makes it a P2. And that means we'll get 2 trillion every time we do a produce action. That's pretty good. And we could and we get to take one of our bases with us to the next era. So that's why we want one of our current bases to have that kind of power. Okay, so we did the Explorer. Now it's them. Ooh, it says South Mars. This is sort of bad for us. So let's resolve that. Okay, so there is a competition team present. And is it a site with an empty Explorer box? No, it's a site with a discovery tile. Remove the team and place a competition base. He's building a base. So when it says remove the team, it's his team, not ours. And we have to draw a base for him. So he's taken the base. It's an attraction. So attraction will not match this. And we can go through the steps for you here. But attraction needs to have a what that's called a natural wonder or an alien artifact, etc., etc. Okay, these alien artifacts and stuff aren't going to be in this Mariners phase. That's future phases. So natural wonder is the only thing you're going to find in this phase. And if it would have matched, he would have gained another trillion. So when it doesn't match, it just means nothing happens. And so when we build a base and he has a cube there, we kick his cube out. He does not kick our cube out, and I can show it to you here. It's written here, if you build a base at a site with a competition team, remove a team. And it's a solo game only thing. And when he builds a base there, he does not remove us. Okay. Now, one thing that does happen, and I wish it was written in the rules, and it's not. Because when it says place base, it says draw and place a competition. If the base meets its requirements, apply it. But it doesn't tell you what happens if you own the discovery tile. So you have to go to the rule book for that, or just trust your videographer. But let's go to the rule book so I can show you where that is. And it's going to be in the here, competition base placement. If the why am I not finding it? Maybe you shouldn't ever trust your videographer. Okay, I know it's here. Come on. Oh, come on. It's written somewhere. Right here. It's under our build. If you build a base at a site with a competition team, remove that team. If it was on the discovery tile, the competition is compensated. Okay? So you and the competition each have a team on Luna. On the competition's turn, it places a discovery tile, gaining 1 trillion because it placed the tile. On your turn, you take advantage of the fact that it's a base -1 and you build a base there. The competition gains 2 trillion in recompense, then its team is removed. And that's called the exploration claim. If your build action is conducted at a site where discovery is currently claimed by a competition team, competition gains 2 profits. Similarly, if the competition places a base at a site where a discovery tile is currently claimed by one of your teams, you gain 2 profit. Okay, so my apologies. I was looking in the AI section because I thought it would be written there, but this is actually an R section for R action, but it lists something that happens to us when the AI takes a turn. So so that's where it is, and I apologize. It took me a while to find, but we get 2 trillion for that. So we don't get the base, which I sort of wanted, but we do get 2 trillion, which is, that's nice because that's points. Okay, so now it's our turn. And they build a base in Mars. That doesn't do us any good. We can't do anything with that. So I'm going to move out of Mars. And you can see that the gravity in Mars is +1. So it's going to cost me 2. 1 to lift off and 1 because of the gravity. So 2 to get off Mars. And then just 3. I'm going to land here on Phobos. I would go here, but I don't want to get into this competition stuff with him again. So we're going to do that. It costs 3 movement. But remember, I built my tableau up, and look how sweet it is. We're not spending any cards. We're having a nice, relaxing, sunny day. Okay, so it's his turn. Halley's Comet or Sisyphus. Now, this one is also easy. Halley's Comet is listed first, but Sisyphus is where he's at. So he's at a location with a team present, but there's an empty box. So it says draw and place a discovery tile awarding any trillions, then remove the team and place a base. He's doing both actions, folks. So the team's going to be removed. We can do that now. And so we're going to draw a base for him. I'm sorry, we draw the exploration tile. So he's going to get 2 trillion because he found a natural wonder. So he gets 2 points. And then we're going to draw a base for him. And I drew a shield factory. That's not in this era. Remember I told you I was lazy and didn't take them out. Security is out of the era. Industrial is this in the era. So I can tell you industrial is not going to be a match. But we can look real quick. Industrial needs water. Or a P tile, right? Water or P. Neither of those exist. You can see it's a natural wonder. Natural wonders, by the way, as we talked about, that's what the attraction is. And he actually built an attraction over there. So I think they made the right order, but then somebody in their logistics department delivered the base to the wrong location. So anyways, that's good news for us. Okay, it's our turn. We're going to explore Phobos up there. And just a reminder, we have plenty of explore points. We only needed 1. So let's do this one. And we get $1 trillion, and we found water. So we do that, we claim it, and we get $1 trillion. So now it's their turn. So water, by the way, is going to help us to build an industrial complex, which doesn't help us one lick of a bit. So I might use it to get a research lab. Maybe. Let's see. Okay, South Mars. South Mars already has a base. See? So now you might think, oh, great, nothing happens. Nope, the game tells you to draw another card. And you'll see that here. If you or the competition already have a base at the site listed on the action, discard the card and draw another. So he's drawing another card. Offers 1, 2, and 4, and you saw that it had the move action on it. So we're getting hammered here. 1, 2, and 4. So just to show you real quick, 1 has the rocket, and so does 2. So he's going to get $2 trillion. And then we're going to draw 3 cards for the offer. 1. Oh crap, he got an edge card. And that's 4. Okay, so his edge card is a sabotage. So let's see what the sabotage does for him. Choose one of your teams at a site without a base. If any, relocate it to a site with one of your bases. So we have a team there, on Phobos that doesn't have a base, so it's telling us we have to relocate it to a site with a base. So I'm relocating it back to the spaceport. Okay, and then we still have to draw another card for him. And we are running very low on cards. So now it's our turn. We're back at our spaceport. I don't see any value in going to Phobos and building a base there. In fact, it's a waste of our time. Give me a second. I think the AI gets credit for building a base on Mars. So, and actually we do get credit if we, okay, let's back up. Let me answer the Mars question first. So give me a second while I look that up. There's a place where it shows you oh, come on. Yeah, okay. They're getting the credit. So, so I haven't been paying attention here. They created the first base on Mars, so they get 3 trillion. 1, 2, 3. So he's jamming up in the lead. So what we need to be doing is we need to be fulfilling these contracts, and you can see it's all about the base. And so for Lagrange bases, we have 1. For non-Lagrange bases, we have 1. Genetics, we have 0. Bases in 5 regions, we have 2 of that. And then the first produce action, we actually have the ability to do that at any time. So we've sort of been waiting on that one. So anyways, it is our turn, and we need to make bases, I guess. And so we can have 4 non-Lagrange, which we have 2. So let's continue that. The Lagrange ones would be way too much effort. So that means we're going to Mars again. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Deimos, and let's see if we can get green kicked out of there. So we're going to move there, and I hope, we don't have to add or do any math because I got plenty of move points. And so off we go. Luna. Okay, so Luna already has a base. Luna is the moon. So that means he draws another card. And it says 1 discovery and contract 1. So contract 1, of course, is the produce action. So we're under pressure now. So he could theoretically beat us to it. The 1 discovery hurts because that's right where we went. So this gives him another $1 trillion. And now he owns the discovery, and he gets another $1 trillion. So it's our turn, and Deimos has a B5. Let me show you real quick. You can see there it says B5 on Deimos. So we need 5 build points. So you can see here I have 2, 4, 5. Okay, so I'm going to spend 5 build points, and I'm going to put a refinery on that location. The refinery is actually going to help us in the long term because now we finally have a location that produces decent money. It produces 1 already, and this refinery makes it produce 2. Now he's here. We do get to kick him out, but we have to pay him $2 trillion because he's the one that discovered it, and so that hurts. We have less than 4 cards, so we're going to draw a card, and we have that, which is actually a pretty nice one. Now, how do I know all these things? Just know that on your chart, the refinery, see it says right here, the tile's p-value gains a +1. So the p-value is a 1 already, so now it's a 2. Okay, his turn. North Mars. There's no base on North Mars, so he's going to be producing a base there. And once again, you can always just check, but it's a site with a discovery tile, so he's going to make a base. So he's building another base on Mars. So he basically monopolized Mars, and he built an industrial base. And unfortunately, that's exactly what he needed to build, so he's going to get a bonus. The AI is creaming us this game. I assure you, even with me having the rules wrong in my last playthrough, the AI did not do this well. The number of, that amount of money, that AI did not have that much money at the end of the second era in the last game. And he has that much now. And I'm telling you, the way I played the rules wrong was not the AI. I did the AI fine. So industry, see if it has a water, and it does have a water. Place a competition team at an unoccupied site in the same region or a nearby region in Starfarers. If not possible, he gets another one. So what that means is he's going to get a competition team here because it's unoccupied. Okay, so it's our turn. We could try to move to Phobos and build another base, which would complete a contract for us, because you can see we have 3. Oh, hold on. He's got 3 as well. 1, 2, 3. See, he has 3 bases. We have 3 bases. So we're really getting close to completing some more contracts. No, we aren't. He's closer than we are. He has 3 non-Lagrange bases. We only have 1, 2. This is a Lagrange base here. Dang it. So I counted wrong. All right, so we should probably do our produce action. Let's just get it out of the way. We're going to do our produce action, and that's going to be, we get to pick any one tile. See, because you have to get produce points. So if this was a produce 2, we can pick any 2 tiles. So we're going to pick 1 tile. So remember how I explained this. That's a P0. The refinery makes it a P1. So we can get 1 trillion from there, but you know darn well that's not what we want. We're going to go to this one, which is a P1, and the refinery makes it a P2. So we're going to get 2 trillion for the produce action, and then we're going to kick this cube out. Kicking cubes is fun in this game, and we get to complete this contract. We did our first produce action, so we get 2 more trillion. So then we have less than 4 cards, or less than or equal to 4 cards, so we can actually do a produce again. That'll at least get us some points, and so that's good to have. Okay, he drew North Mars. He already has a base in North Mars, so we're going to draw again. Offers 1, 2, and 3, and then, see, this is the produce action. So 1, 2, and 3, you can see have no produce action, so I'm just going to set the camera down. Get rid of those, and lo and behold, boom, these are coming out. So the rules in the solo game, when one of the decks is empty, his turn immediately ends, and then we get to take 1 more action, only 1 more action, and then the era is over. So we're going to do the produce action, because that's the only way we can score points before the game ends. There's no other option here. So with the produce action, we're going to produce 2 of them, so we at least close the gap on him. And then I'm going to take you through the era end instructions so you can see how that goes, and then we're going to be off to Planeteers. So Mariners phase is already over. We're losing. The AI is good. Okay, so you want to get out your you have to get out your rule book for this. And there's a section called End of Era. It's on page 15. So it basically says, so here's what happened. We triggered the draw piles, it was empty. It just occurs you take 1 more turn without intervening competition. Okay? So the competition gets to do a free production. So you have to go out and find his best base. So like this one produces 0. That one produces 0. And let's look at the 2 on Mars. The South Mars, you can see there, produces 1. He has an attraction on it, which doesn't help him, but it does produce 1. So he's going to get 1 trillion for that. Okay, then legacy production. We get to choose one and keep it. So I'm going to choose the one that was on Deimos, this one. That's the refinery, the one we've been producing with. And so what you do is you put that here. And so when we move on to the next phase of the game, this counts as like a base that we can always like collect resources from. So it's as if we already had a base built, like we have in this game. So anytime we do a produce action in the future, we can always produce from this spot as one of our options. Okay, it's a lot of gobbledygook, but it's just basically saying that, because this end of era is for every era, not just this one. And it's just saying that if you're replacing a legacy tile, you get to replace it, blah, blah, blah. Okay, all the cards on your infra remain. So all this is saying is these 3 cards stay, right? We get to keep that. It's just telling you to clean up everything else. You don't get to keep the cards that are in your hand or anything like that. We're going to remove all the playing pieces from the board. In fact, we have to flip the board over. All the discovery tiles go away, so whatever ones we didn't draw, whatever bases we had, nothing matters anymore. This whole board's wiped clean. And then we're going to get out a sideboard, which you haven't seen yet, so we're going to now get a whole new sideboard added to the game, and then we go to the next era. And just a sneak peek for you, there's a whole setup for the next era, and I'll get into that in the next video. So there you have it. This is the Mariners phase. Much better, much cleaner, and right now, much tougher. We had a lot easier time the last time. Before you move to the next phase, remember, we achieved this, the first beyond. So I like to just keep that by my tableau with my cube on it, just to remind me that yes, I did do the first beyond, and everything else is just cleaning up from here. Now, what are some rules things that we didn't encounter? The first one is during the offers action. Remember when we get an edge card here, it gets discarded. Okay, it doesn't ever go here. If we drew another edge card, it actually would keep triggering over and over again. It may or may not happen in your game, but that's just something to keep in mind. The other one is, if I ever replaced one of these with another one, so let's say I upgraded this particular card, you don't discard this. This actually goes back in your hand. So, but that's only the case if this matches your phase. Now we're moving to phase 2, right? The Planeteers. So the Planeteers are these cards with a little planet on it. So if I put a planet card here, because I'm in the next phase, this gets discarded out of the game. Okay, you don't use this. But if during the Mariners phase, I would have replaced one of these, it actually goes back in my hand, so you can still use it. So that's something very, very important. You can actually take advantage of that to accomplish some pretty cool goals. From a contract perspective, we only got 3 of the 6 we needed to do. I don't think we were close. Actually, the competition was close to getting the 4 non-Lagrange. The genetics one was the one I really wanted to do. And as you saw, there was only 2 genetics cards in the entire deck. So you got to get them or you lose them. And we lost them. So that was unfortunate. So that means our jobs are going to be a lot harder. But what was I going to say? All is not lost. We're going to move on and do these contracts, the next era. And let's say we get 4 asteroid bases, right? We get to claim 3 plus 2. So when this thing, it'll bump twice, and we'll actually get all the money. So there's no such thing as losing out on the money. In fact, these contracts here are more lucrative for us than trying to do the one that's already had a partial completion. Okay, so that's talking about the next era, so I will hush up and let you guys go and get this thing uploaded to YouTube. So thank you all very much for watching and for your forgiveness as I am doing a second playthrough and erased all my other videos. And just to explain the major error I made, when you do an action, you can only impact one team. So if I do a build action, I can only build once. If I do a move action, I can only move once. In the other playthrough, thought that if I had 2 cubes, and let's say this one needed a move of 3 and this one needed a move of 3, and I was able to produce 6 movement points worth of cards, I moved both of them all in one turn. And while that was great, that's not what the rules say. So I misinterpreted it, and it was such a huge error. I didn't want any of you guys to get confused with that. So I'm doing it the right way, and it's a lot harder. So good for that. I don't want an easy game. So anyways, thanks for watching. Stay awesome.